Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Game News Roundup. As we reported earlier this week, the UK regulator Competition and Markets Authority released its final decision on Microsoft's $67.8 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard, and it decided to block the deal over concerns with cloud gaming. And Microsoft and Activision Blizzard quickly came out and said they will be appealing the decision by the CMA. But since this fallout, there has been a report released by Bloomberg, who spoke with a person who attended an all-hands-on meeting by Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer. So, reading what I wrote. Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer Thursday morning in an all-hands meeting with division employees said the company is disappointed by the UK regulator, Competition and Markets Authority, blocking the acquisition of Activision Blizzard over its concerns with cloud gaming. Spencer, according to the report, according to the source, said the goal of the acquisition was to speed up Microsoft's gaming plans, but it didn't represent all of the company's gaming strategy. Xbox will move forward with its plans even without Activision Blizzard if the deal ultimately falls through, which is looking more likely the deal is going to fail because of the UK blocking it, even though at this point 7 countries have approved it, with most recently this week, Ukraine did approve the deal. But anyway, so yeah, Phil Spencer in the all-hands meeting did say Microsoft President Brad Smith was reportedly up at 2 a.m. Pacific time on Wednesday drafting a response to the CMA, and Microsoft Chief Financial Officer Amy Hood held a senior leadership meeting. The CMA in its final decision said it is concerned the deal would alter the future of the fast-growing cloud gaming market, leading to reduced innovation and less choice for UK gamers over the years to come. So again, Phil Spencer stated that this is not going to affect their future plans, which is not a surprise. It was more of an opportunity to acquire Activision Blizzard. Their value was quite low for having Call of Duty, which is like the biggest selling game every single year on year. I think the only times Call of Duty has not been the best seller in the past 15 years is when Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 launched. Otherwise, it's been pretty much the best selling game every single year, or one of the best selling games every single year, along with, you look at Blizzard with World of Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, and then obviously it includes King, makers of Candy Crush. But Microsoft in recent years has grown its first-party lineup from about 5 or so studios in 2017. Is now around, I forget the exact number, it's 22, 23, around there, with obviously Bethesda, or the ZeniMax acquisition, which includes Bethesda, id Software, Machine Games. They've also acquired Obsidian Entertainment, Playground Games, and a bunch of studios over the past bunch of years. And I would expect, whether this deal went through or not, Microsoft was planning on acquiring even more studios to grow its first-party lineup. Now, do I expect them to acquire, say, EA, Take-Two, Ubisoft, any bigger publisher? Probably not, but I would think maybe some smaller developers that they have worked with over the years, kind of someone like Certain Affinity, who has helped develop the Halo franchise, or IO Interactive, which they are working with, and who is probably best known for developing the most recent Hitman games. That would be my just guess. I really don't know. We'll see. So, in other reports, again, from Brad Smith, who spoke during the BBC's Wake Up to Money after the announcement of the UK regulator blocking the deal, he said that he thinks this is bad for Britain, blocking the deal. The business community, the investment community, and the technology sector around the world have been following this case, and the strong message that the CMA has sent is not just to surprise everyone who fully expected the acquisition to be approved, but to send a message that will discourage innovation and investment in the United Kingdom. And I think in that sense, the impact of this decision is far broader than on Microsoft or this acquisition alone. Microsoft have been in the UK for 40 years, and they play a vital role not just supporting businesses and nonprofits, but even defending the nation from cybersecurity threats. But this decision, I have to say, is probably the darkest day in our 4 decades in Britain. It does more than shake our confidence in the future of the opportunity to grow technology business in Britain than we've ever confronted before. Smith did say the reasoning that the UK regulator gave for blocking the deal was based on a flawed understanding of cloud gaming, and Microsoft giving other cloud streaming services access to its games was more than adequate to address the concerns of the regulator. It's all about a potential concern about what could become the cloud streaming of games, like you see the streaming of movies on a network like Netflix, but the business is so small today that Microsoft can't even stream games to more than 5,000 people at a time in the entirety of the UK. So for regulators to step in and seek to torpedo a $68 billion global traction out of a concern of a part of the business that is so small, and to reject so many proposals to try and address their concerns, it leaves people worried, and it leaves people thinking that actually the process in Brussels worked far better than what we are now address in London. Brussels being where a lot of stuff for the European Union takes place. Smith added that Microsoft believes the European Union is a friendlier place for technology companies to operate in. He is optimistic the European Union regulator, the European Commission, will accept the remedies Microsoft has put in place in relation to cloud gaming, which actually just announced a fourth company it has signed a deal with. This one with another 10-year cloud gaming deal with Europe-based Nware. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. I'm not totally sure. It's the first time actually I've heard of this cloud gaming company. So yeah, Microsoft announced Microsoft and the European cloud gaming platform Nware have signed a 10-year agreement to stream PC games built by Xbox on its platform, as well as Activision Blizzard titles after the acquisition closes, or if it closes at this point, big if. While it's still early for the emerging cloud segment in gaming, this new partnership combined with our other recent commitments will make more popular games available on more cloud gaming streaming services than they are today. This was announced at, 2 a.m. Eastern, my time? Around there or so? Again, this is the fourth cloud gaming platform Microsoft has signed a 10-year agreement with. It also includes NVIDIA's GeForce Now and Boostroid and Ubitus. Ubitus? I am not totally sure how to pronounce that last one. But yeah, they have 4 deals in place. Let's see, where was Smith saying, he's optimistic the European Commission will continue to go forward, as it has signaled in recent weeks and months that it will regard the very promises that the CMA has rejected as far more appropriate. It is all about being pragmatic. Don't we want regulators to be pragmatic? Don't we want regulators to actually talk to the people they're regulating? Don't we want regulators to look for solutions rather than the reason to block people moving forward? We thought we had answered every question that the CMA panel had put to us. And we specifically said, if you have any other questions or concerns, please let us know. We want to address them, but they went silent. We heard nothing from them. This is not the way regulators in Brussels work with companies. You have more of a conversation. Investments flow to places where people have confidence in the way laws and regulations work. And for all of us who had some hope that post-Brexit, the UK would construct a constructor that would be more flexible, better for investments, better for technology, we're finding the opposite is true. What is most striking to me is that the English Channel has never seemed wider in terms of Europe as a continent being attractive to investment, and Brussels being a place where one can sit down and have a conversation with the regulators who are accountable to the elected leaders, and the difference we now confront in London, where we have regulators who are not only unelected and unaccountable, and now making decisions that are fundamentally unwise. So, yeah. Let's see. A couple of analysts came out in statements sent to Video Games Chronicle, claiming that despite the UK regulator blocking the deal, there is still a chance the deal ends up passing. This includes Wedbush security research analyst Michael Pachter and Ampere Analysis Pierce Harding-Rolls. Pachter said the CMA blocking the deal had thrown a wrench into the process, but the deal isn't dead. Mind you, Pachter's... There's always like a meme going around that Pachter, whatever he says, the opposite's going to happen, but he has been right from occasion to occasion. But even though I'm going to think at this point the odds of the appeal going in Microsoft and Activision Blizzard's favor are low. More likely, the current decision to block the deal will probably be upheld in the appeals process, but we'll find out. You never know. So yeah, Pachter did add, while successfully appealing a CMA decision is a difficult task for several reasons, we think the CMA is on the wrong side of the law on this ruling and believe its concerns can be addressed. Ultimately, the ruling hinges on the CMA's belief that Microsoft will have pricing power due to its market dominance in cloud gaming. We think that the CMA's belief is correct, and Microsoft erred in not addressing this issue before the CMA's ruling. However, we firmly believe that Microsoft is willing to concede maintaining price of $15 per month plus inflation, $15 a month being Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is what you need to use Xbox Cloud Gaming. And we believe the CMA will reverse its position if Microsoft makes that offer. Pachter added that if the appeal proves unsuccessful, Microsoft could still get the CMA approval if it agrees to keep Activision Blizzard games off of Xbox Game Pass, and probably I would assume Xbox Cloud Gaming as well. And specifically the UK, well, it'll be available outside of the UK on Game Pass and Xbox Cloud Gaming. It can separate Game Pass UK from Game Pass elsewhere, either by creating a separate entity in the UK that can easily be monitored by the CMA or by an appointed third party, or by merely managing the UK business separately. We expect that this will be sufficient for the CMA to rule the merger acceptable on the condition that Activision titles are not available on Game Pass. Microsoft will agree to this condition subject to an appeal should it prevail. It captures full value from the acquisition should it fail. It captures most of the value, but its prospects for Game Pass growth in the UK, a low percentage of global GDP, will be limited due to a lower amount of content available on the service, if what Pachter is suggesting does occur. Now, Harding the Rolls did say the CMA blocking the deal is clearly a blow to Microsoft and Activision in their efforts to get the acquisition over the line. Historically, a majority of CMA appeals have been unsuccessful, but there's still a chance this can be overturned. According to the Competition Appeal Tribunal site, straightforward cases are aimed to be dealt with within 9 months, but often at least take a few months. If the appeal is successful, it is then returned to the CMA to review, which again will take some time. So we could be looking towards the end of the year if everything goes in favor of Microsoft and Activision to close the deal. Next up is the EU decision on the deal towards the end of May, and the FTC administrative court action at the beginning of August. Again, yes, the FTC did sue to block the deal, and there is a lawsuit going on between the FTC and the US, along with Microsoft and Activision Blizzard. And the European Union deadline is May 22nd, but the talks seem to have gone better between the European Union and Microsoft. But who knows? With the UK blocking the deal, at this point, I don't know. Will they pass it? Will they block it? We don't know. If they block it, the deal is probably dead. If they pass it and Microsoft is able to win the court case against the FTC, I feel like the odds are slightly better in Microsoft's favor, but obviously they still need to get the UK to approve the deal. So, and one last thing about this fallout from the UK blocking the deal. Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick, in an interview with CNBC, says he expects an accelerated appeals process after the UK blocked the deal. Microsoft and Activision Blizzard quickly announced it would appeal the decision by the CMA, which will be reviewed by the Competition Appeals Tribunal, also known as the CAT of the UK. The goal from the CAT is to complete straightforward cases in under 9 months. However, Kotick thinks they'll be able to fast-track its case. When you look at the facts and you look at what the opportunities are for the UK, this was a transaction that was only going to enhance opportunities for competition for our players, for employees, and it was just a flawed ruling in every aspect. And what it demonstrated to us is that these regulators don't really understand our business. It was flawed in every way, so that it is actually going to create a lessening of competition, which is the opposite of what their mission is. And so we think the appeals tribunal will see that and rule in our favor. Kotick thinks Activision Blizzard and Microsoft and our barristers, who are exceptionally experienced at judicial review, think that there's a way to accelerate the process, and that the conclusions were so flawed that we should be able to get accelerated results. The Activision Blizzard CEO was unable to give a timetable, as they've yet to file their appeals briefing. So Kotick did conclude, I can't tell you what the timing will be yet because we haven't filed our appeals briefing. I guess they're working on the briefings to make sure they get every bit of detail they want in it ready to go. But we'll get a lot more details over the course of the next week, and we really better understand what the timing will be. So we're going to cover the fallout from the UK blocking Microsoft's Activision Blizzard acquisition. Again, this being blocked, even if the deal completely fails, it's not going to change Xbox's plans. We'll keep moving forward. As well as Microsoft President Pressman saying it's the darkest day in our 4 decades in Britain. And analysts saying the deal is not dead yet, though the road will be hard. And yeah, we'll see how things go over the coming months. So yeah, we're going to be hearing about this deal for probably through next year at this point, before whether if it's going to be completely blocked or maybe Microsoft can win its appeal in the UK. But we'll find out. So again, if you enjoy these Game News Roundup, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment down below. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Have a great day, everybody.